Hi, everybody. We are playing some Dungeons and Dragons tonight. TJ will be our elevator music. Uh,
That's wonderful.
but we are following the continuing adventures of the Dawnforged company, who recently have been able to liberate the captured Githzerai from the horrifying Githyanki ship that also was helmed by an Illichid. Illichid, one of those two. I forget the official name because I've said the other one too many times. But
I don't think I've
upon
ever tried Lichithid.
Lichithid, you know what? There we go. And then
Mike wrote
Did we
it down.
try to start
We have-
the stream yet?
what? The stream started, yeah.
So
Jesus God.
It is low hanging fruit.
It's
So,
always low hanging. Every
For
time.
for those of you,
it's hanging so low, Ty can not bend over to pick it up right now.
it's way too low for. I'm picking up shit. That is full of wine for the record. That's how we're gonna get through this.
Oh,
Mhm.
God.
All right. So, and after the death and brain, well, near death and brain surgery to put Uza back into his original body, which then also gave him lightning powers because his god is just real sweet on him, I guess. And then, yeah,
Mommy for life.
Thunder Mommy for life. And then,
Man, is this gonna get incesty?
no, God, no.
Oh, God.
This is not like other places on the internet. That's actually banned here.
Oh, good.
Help me, Akari, I'm stuck in limbo.
What are you doing, step god mommy?
No.
Oh,
No.
this is gonna end with the subreddit Dragons Fucking Gods.
God damn it.
Oh,
Anyway,
God's taking the form of a car.
speaking speaking of dragons, Bloodscale now has far more eyes than he used to, each a different color of the dragons he's absorbed over the time. They've rescued Zarek's brother, who was one of the Taken, and he'd revealed that he'd become a dreamsmith for Phobator. And this title meaning that he was helping them build stuff in the realm of dreams that should stay there and be solid. When the realms merge, he'll have a place there, a place that he's created himself. But all of this, of course, under the careful and watchful building eye of Phobator. Zarek had, with some help from a dragon named Shenoth, convinced him to give them some time to stop doing that, because that's bad. And they find them so...
Explain why.
and explain why it's bad. And but on the ship they also rescued a Githzerai Anarch, one of the strongest of the Githzerai. Vithnera is responsible for helping shape some of the things from the void with use of the spawning stone, and actually helped hold together large portions of the one of the biggest cities, Shrakitlor in the void, and by saving her, they prevented that from turning into dust and becoming nothing, and having big parts of the library of the city fall apart and into nothing. Good news there. She also agreed to help convince Zarek's brother that maybe that's not a good thing to do, and there's maybe better things to do. But we'll see how that goes, because Zarloth is a pretty arrogant at this point. But we've got some plans for the night after they've come back. They've cleared out and made allies with the ship that's a giant living creature, which kind of this Nautilus-looking creature with a ship. And on the way back, poor Ulu got transformed into a 3.5-foot tall tiefling through the pockets of instability by just the worst rolls ever. It was really sad. But and then, so let's see what else is going on. Oh yeah, and then Zephyr decided maybe now's the time. She's got the summon demon spell there. She's got her amulet, and she's decided that Limbo, with its instability and its untapped potential, might be the place to bring her father back from wherever the hell his soul has been. All right. A lot of plot threads going on, but I think I got most of them. Any of them I forget? All right, cool.
Left us eating dinner.
I think you guys had just finished dinner and we're headed to bed.
Yeah, that was what everybody had just finished.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. So you guys have finished up the kind of I don't know how to call it. The it's not bland or tasteless, but the kind of sustenance. It's the rather adequate meal, I should say. It's pretty much it's the it was basically quinoa and a few vegetables and stuff put in there, but you go down and each of you has been given a room. The rooms are relatively small, but there's enough room for a cot, and it's could be worse. 15 feet long, 10 feet wide. So enough to move around and do some things, but nothing overly fancy, just like nothing else here has been super overly fancy in any way, shape, or form, but it's relatively comfortable. Zarek, you find... or no, sorry, you don't go to bed. You are summoned to the Chamber of Vithnera, the Anarch, and she... invites you into this kind of large. It's in the middle of the kind of barracks of the place where normally it's used for training and things like that. But she's brought you there to kind of meditate and turn the meditation into sleep and a dream where all of you can be connected. Where she's going to help connect you, her, and your brother together to share a dream in which to convince your brother that things can be different and go over a few lessons with you. So, let's see. So we're going to go and start with Zarek. So Zarek, you find you find yourself sitting meditation style. All three of you kind of forming a small triangle, and she begins to speak, and slowly she just starts something similar to the throat song that you know. It's this multi-toned singing. It's almost as if three voices are singing, coming from her only. It starts to kind of grow and surround you, and the entire room starts to also kind of echo with it, and you find yourself kind of falling into this music as it starts to resonate almost across your skin, and she nods to you, suggesting that you can add some tones now to this song.
All right. Yeah. Do that.
Perfect. So you lend your voice in, filling in some of the tones missing, and now with this you can add tones to harmonize and take it to a major scale or a minor. Is there any particular way you'd like to go with it?
Minor is best.
Perfect.
Mix, like in music.
Perfect.
And music alone. And definitely only music.
Smooth. That's a good side
You like
step.
that? Yeah.
All right. So you add the minor overtones, bringing the song together, and then she nods to your brother, who can't throat sing, but he starts to kind of pat out a rhythm instead to go with and underlie this music, as it starts to kind of become louder and louder and resonate. It's at this point she gestures forward, and you see, as she pulls her hand forward, she swirls it around, and you see this, almost pulled from nothingness, this small mote of light being created. And then as she holds her hands above the top and the bottom of it, she reaches like she's going to pick something up, and as she does, it turns into a tea set with tea, and she sets it down, and then pours tea for all three of you. And then she puts up her hand, and together, the music stops.
Hi, cat.
Hello, Cat.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Now the silence in between this created tea, she nods to each of you and says, "Now, there is very important things that I'd like to teach you. One being that the difference between and an escapability of chaos. The difference between it and what we think of as not chaos is merely chaos contained. Shall we start?"
Please, proceed.
Your brother also nods and says, "I mean," and he kind of looks a little bit smug as he nods, like he's been over all this. And then so as she nods, and you see she briefly touches her forehead, and you see there's like a small, almost opalescent stone forms on her forehead, and then she pulls these tiny motes of light, one from one hand, one from the other, and then lightly touches both you and your brother on the forehead. And you feel just a wave of relaxation as it hits you. And then, do you resist falling asleep?
Nope.
You're out. That was the sound of him hitting the floor. Apparently. No, sorry.
Deep sleep. This is a full-featured DM.
I'll do what I can.
Just covering her mic. Right?
Well, that's how impressive Kai is that he can
I
influence other people to provide his sound effects.
So, as you not awaken, but you feel your consciousness, that is not the music I asked you for. As you feel your consciousness shift, the sounds of the astral plane and the monastery fall behind you. And you find yourself in the middle of a large library, one that you recognize from your time in Shrucket lore. There are books seeming floating off of the shelves and around. Some tables have these things being written. You even hear some snippets of conversation, but unintelligible, as if right next to you, but distorted in a way that makes it extremely hard to tell exactly what is going on. In front of you, you see the Anarch Vithnera as she nods to both of you. Now, before we begin, what questions do you have?
Well, I seek for perhaps the enlightenment that you can provide on what you spoke of specifically why Fulbator cannot succeed in his claims or his desires. I know instinctually that his promises are false and his vision is flawed, but perhaps I don't fully understand all of it.
To start this conversation, you say you know on instinct, but you seem as one who would act on needing more than instinct, and I believe that is where the disconnect between the two of you comes. Now, Zalov, what would you like to know? And Zarloth sits and he thinks for a second. And after a moment, he looks up and he says, "What makes this any less real than the real one? There's all of the books, there's all of the shelves, there's everything here that is needed. Everything here is just as real as the real one. There's nothing different here. I feel the same. Do you?" He picks up a book, he tosses it in the air, and it just lands on a table with a thump. See? There is no difference. Why let others why let anyone harm anyone when we do not have to? It seems a simple and easy solution. Why do you stand against it? And then she nods to him and says, I think the disconnection between something that is meaningful and something that is the difference that you and your brother are finding in this issue. Before we get any further, I would like you both to promise me that you will argue here, if there are arguments, only in good faith. You will not turn this into a circus, and you will not lie in my presence. I will know. Your brother hesitates.
Acceptable.
Your brother hesitates for a second. Very well. Though this will not become a prison, I have no interest in imprisoning anyone. In fact, I believe prisons are what you're fighting for. And he looks very confused when she says that. Now, Zadok, in order to... I believe your brother knows much of, or has been told much of what I'm about to say without understanding enough of it. But I will teach you a few things in order so that you may have a more complete understanding of what we are talking about. Now, the main thing we are talking about is chaos. Chaos, that we live in it, and it defines everything in our lives. But nothing at all. It is the same with all life from one extent to another. Change is the only thing that truly defines life. Change should define ourselves, as we are constantly seeing one version of ourselves die, and another being born from the husk that is left behind. Now, importantly, we do not claim to master chaos in shaping. We merely claim the potential of what it could be for our purposes. For even once shaped, chaos will not be contained forever. It will be claimed again and again to the changing tides. Now, we must make a peace with chaos in order to shape it from anything, or shape anything from it. Now, feel around you. There is potential in the air, especially here. You will find it some places stronger than others. The first step is to embrace the chaos. And she closes her eyes and she pulls in, and you just see almost like where there was nothing around her before, almost the shimmering field now surrounds her, and you see she kind of starts pulling the shimmers into almost like a shape of a flowing river in front of her. Now that you have embraced it, you must create the heart of what you wish to form, the very thing that defines it as what it is, what it will do, what it will be, everything that you want it to be. And she closes her eyes again, and you see banks form along the river, almost, and guiding it. And you see as the river starts to flow down towards, it looks like this container, but the container is like a glass heart. Now, once that heart is formed, feed the chaos into the heart of your idea. Connect it so that it feeds the chaos. Use your mind to connect the chaos to the heart. Let your mind be the only connection. Now fill it completely. And you see the river now formed flows and fills the heart all the way up. And then, now once the form is filled with chaos, and your mind the only river between the heart of your creation, you must now believe that it exists. Because only once you are certain can it be. And she closes her eyes and you see the heart start to beat. Your mind will convince the chaos to yield to the heart of your idea. Consumed by your certainty, you will close off the other avenues of change, the other potential. I want you to try now. How do you want to try to follow her instructions?
Accurately. Like the way she said it, you know.
So,
she's the
Describe
anarch that-
describe
yeah,
what you would describe what you would like to make and how you'd make it. Like what's like, take us through a small scene of what Zarek would be thinking and making.
Oh goodness.
I can do it if you want.
No, I feel like I should be here for this. Alright, so obviously Zarek is concerned about his brother not understanding that the realms and the planes being separate is important. So he's gonna try and create almost like a model of the different planes.
Okay.
Like
If the planes were a globe.
Kinda. Almost like
Okay.
a solar system model, but of the different realms and how they connect and how they interact.
Perfect.
As far as he understands it.
Okay.
That 3D chess thing from Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And then so
4D chess? Because there was a
it
time.
was 40. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. So as you start to form this creation, you actually are able to feel like this potential around you once your mind is quiet and looking for it, and you feel that it is here everywhere. It is especially powerful. You feel it flow into you. You feel you create the structure and you define what it is, and as for your purposes you define it even to yourself as a model of what to represent. Like that is its purpose. You focus into that purpose, and then you imagine filling it with that potential chaos around you, and you actually feel it kind of moving through your mind and into this idea that you formed. And then I want you to make an intelligence saving or check. 13. Okay. So here 13's perfectly fine. So you feel it, and then you were like, and then instead of a thing you're creating, you shift your mind into, this is a thing that I have. It exists. It is mine. It has been. It will be. And it is now here. I am certain. There is no doubt left. No space, no room for doubt. This is. And here it's particularly easy in the realm of dreams. And so you see the model hold. As you open your eyes, you have this creation created from the chaos around you. You see your brother, eyes closed, smiling to himself. He has created knitting needles and yarn, and he is going through his hands are going through the motions, and he is knitting something, but he's created each individually, not just one thing as you have. And you see he's kind of showing off that he can do multiple things. And then as he finishes, it is clearly a knit dunce cap, and he snaps it. And as he pulls the end of it, you see he's so adept that the yarn transforms into paper, and he puts it on his head. And I guess there's just something I'm not understanding of why. And he looks over to you and is like, maybe you deserve this. For isn't this real? And as he places it on your head, he's like, is the humiliation not the same? Is everything just not perfectly real?
I believe that you would have a more profitable experience if you took this a bit more seriously.
I'm taking it seriously. Their emotions define everything about how we exist. The emotion I'm trying to convey to you, it's how certain I am of where I'm coming from. I'm trying to show you, like, the reason, of course, Phobator is based in nightmares. Well, that they call it nightmares. It is the easiest emotion to evoke. It is the easiest one that you know is real. Dreams. You wake up and you miss them. You think, I had a dream. What was it again? And it is gone. Nightmares. They have strong emotional anchors, and that's what makes them more real. I've been taught that shaping from chaos, if you base it in emotion rather than just admitting to yourself or confessing that chaos will take it, if you base it in emotion, the emotion becomes its purpose. And emotions can be fed into, can hold chaos into what it is. There's no greater cure for chaos than fear. But fear can be a tool to get to unity.
Zarek's gonna take the hat off and place it down on a table nearby.
Did Zarek feel anything when he got the dunce cap put on his head?
Annoyance.
Okay. And anything else?
Little brother antics.
Yeah, it's definitely
Frustration.
frustration. Okay.
Because, it's this idea that it's not. I guess the thing that Zarek's feeling is that the argument is not whether or not the experience in the dream world is real, or is it an adequate simulacrum of reality. It's, is it worth the destruction of the realms and the essential separation of all peoples into
Hey, don't tell me.
their own little.
Tell
No,
Zarloth.
that's just what he's feeling.
Perfect. No, so I needed that
say
because
things.
as you put it down, Zarloth reads your face and he looks over and he's like, "You see, if you could give up your frustration, you would give up the anchor. Do it. Try. I will not be offended if you destroy my creation. It was meant with a purpose. Its purpose has been served. Can you let go of the emotion, though?"
Sorry, what was the last thing you said, Ty?
Can you let go of the emotion, though? Purpose is one thing. Emotion, though, is a deep anchor. And if you'd like to try to release the emotion of frustration, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Okey-doke.
Perfect. It was very low DC. So as you kind of calm yourself and you push down the frustration, your brother is... You realize what he's trying to do and realize you don't want to feed it. You feel the frustration of it calm and turn into nothing. And as you open your eyes, you see the hat dissipate into nothing. And this is where the Anarch Vithra interjects. Like, but that's the thing about emotion. They are fleeting. You claim that fear will hold longer. What of love? You clearly have something planned for after fear is not enough. The thing about a purpose, though, is a purpose can be passed on from one person to another. Did you not think of what would happen once I have died? Yes, I will go, but there is still the anchor, there's still the core of my creation. There would be time to save it. If it was anchored only in my fear, only in my determination, only in me, when I died, there would be nothing to anchor it. Same with your childish display for your brother. If Zarek, something happened to him, it would dissipate. Now you have turned creation, instead of something that we can share with each other and with the world to make that place better, you've turned it into an emotional weapon. You have turned your mind into a weapon to use against others. And you consider yourself justified. Zarek, what do you say?
It does seem, brother, like you are deliberately misinterpreting the discussion, the argument against this plan of Phobator. Yes, your creations have adequate reality, and one could live in a world of infinite creation and infinite power, infinitely, I would imagine, where the only bounds are the imagination. But one would do so alone and purposeless, the way that Phobator is creating. This is not. It in the end, it has no purpose. It has no meaning to create and live alone and without effect, without impact, without mark on the worlds.
Brother, you put too much importance on purpose. What about experience? The infinite you could experience without ever harming anyone is absurd. There are literally an infinite things that you can experience in this place, in as much as your mind can imagine. And then as he's speaking, she interjects, do you believe that you can imagine an infinity? Is it not contact with others that help us expand our minds and our ideas beyond our own? That is not what I'm talking about. We have infinite time. With infinite time, I can think of literally anything. Think of a new color for me and create it now. And you see your brother just sitting in frustration. While you do that, Zarek, please continue. I did not mean to interrupt.
It is okay. It is fine. I did invite you here for your perspective and your experience. But, brother, she brings up a very good point. If everything you create, if all of the interactions that you are able to have in this infinite universe are echoes, only echoes of your own mind and your own experience, then would it not be limited? Would it not be finite at that point? Because while you can imagine many things, I have heard the sages say that every face we see in our dreams is a face that we have seen in our waking life, that none of them are new or created from our mind, our imagination, that the things that we could create in this infinite world of possibilities could be grand, but would eventually only be reflections of ourselves, and therefore finite.
But so, yeah, but then I would merely visit. There are, and you see your brother sputtering at this point, trying to come up with a cohesive argument against the things presented. And before he can finish, he's like, it is okay. I will train both of you in something more than what you can do in dreams, and something more than what you can do only on the astral plane. For you see, this potential, this chaos, it permeates every plane. When you wake, do the same exercise, but instead of creating a heart in which to put the chaos inside, put your idea of the best thing that could happen and the worst thing as fast as you can. Fill a mold of potential. And you might find music helps you, for in the real world there is not the quiet of this place. There is not the abundance of potential. And you will have to concentrate. I imagine a blade singer with a gifted voice such as yours will find it quite comforting. Tapping of rhythm for you, Zaloth, might also help. Now, I believe both arguments have been made. one side seems to have faltered. The things about discussions, though, is we will think about them after they are done. This matter does not seem closed. But, Zarlov, have you been convinced enough to hold back on, well, your unambiguous help and creation of something that would spell doom for many, obliteration for many? And are you ready to say goodbye to your family, your brother included, forever? Gonzalo sits for a second, and he looks over at you, and you see he's just, you can tell he's just completely lost at this point. And then he looks up and, brother, there's so much potential. I'm, and then he turns back to the Anarch. I will stay in here more. I don't have the faith required to move along the previous path yet. I will consider it still open, but I do not consider it entirely viable as of now. I would speak more to both of you on this if the chance arises. That is well. Now, proper sleep is something hard to replace. And as she nods, your eyes open. You find yourself sitting across from each other. And the Anarch just bows to both of you, and then turns and heads into her quarters. Is there anything you'd like to do?
I talked to him for a bit. Brother, I am relieved to see you consider our words with an open mind. I understand the appeal, the allure of the infinite potential that you've experienced. Perhaps there's a way to experience that from time to time without losing contact with reality, with others.
It was not the point of... The whole point was so that no one would harm each other. There'd be no chance to hurt one another. But without each other there is a finite infinity, and that way only madness can lie. I don't know how that slipped from my mind. I'm sorry to have disappointed you, brother.
I nearly succumbed to his enticings as well, and it was difficult to stay strong against such such great gifts, or as you say, the ability to as he told us, to create peace, to avoid pain and afflictions. But this is not the way.
Let's hope there is one to be found.
Agreed.
He kind of nods to you and then goes for a handshake.
Brothers don't shake hands. Brothers gotta hug.
And as you do, he's like, oh, come on. No, brother. All right. How much?
Hug it out, bro.
Perfect. And then with that, we'll go and switch scenes. Ulu, are you at your... I know you're muted, but are you at your computer?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So we'll go with you. All right. So as you find sleep in now beds that feel gigantic, your height being halved and other things rapidly changing about you, you still sleep as you always do. Your spear ready at hand. Everything within, all weapons within grabbing distance. You are ready at any moment. But you close your eyes and you feel, and as your head kind of tilts back, it hooks on the horns and pushes your chin forward, and you realize you can't lay on your back. And it pisses you off for a second before you kind of pull your head up, and then you kind of turn over to your side and are able to find a comfortable place. One not as ready to spring up in case of an event, but are able to finally find some sleep. After a short bit of dream of violence and attacking and the glory of fighting, from in the middle of this battle where you're fighting just seemingly endless, nameless enemies, but with a smile on your face, you're defeating them all easily, walking through this horde of enemies. You see another orc, one eye gone, and a piece of cloth pulled over like an eye patch tied around his kind of shortish hair blowing in the wind. He has the same spear as you. He has a shield and a big pauldron on one side as he walks forward. You recognize one of the heroes from legend. You recognize Jahruk, champion of Grumsh, walking through your battle towards you. And as he approaches, he nods to you, just destroying, and then you hear his voice, but it seems coming from everywhere.
Anointed, you have lost something of yourself. They seek to steal your heritage. Your very blood now seeks to boil with a new and fertile taint. Let us see what they have taken from you.
And he drops into a fighting stance. I'd like you to go and roll initiative for me.
Oh boy.
I think I know what her plan is going to be.
Oh yeah, you think?
Run away!
You don't know.
Perfect. Okay, you
Eldritch Blast.
won the initiative. What would you like to do?
I mean, he said fight, so we gonna fight.
Hell yeah. Go and make your attacks.
Like,
Nothing.
hey, my spear's named after you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use it against you.
23, that hits. Go and roll all three if you plan on using them.
Yes. Yes.
Perfect. Hits. Hits.
Thanks for your blessings, Jarek.
So, holy shit, okay. Those are some good damage rolls, holy shit. Perfect. Alright, so that's 26. Okay. Holy shit. Oh, that's right. I can just do each individually. No, that's what I'm going to do because my brain is tired. All right, and so as you stab into him, you see he keeps trying. You're stabbing forward, and at each lunge, he tries to get his shield on the way. He tries to parry, and you're just stabbing into him each time. And you see every time you stab him, instead of pain, he kind of smiles a little bit more.
Good. Then you have not lost all that gives you the worth to fight with that. But
and then he stabs his glaive into the air, and you see around it all the every single weapon that you have, all of the ones from every champion, start spinning around along with a bear around him. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Uh-oh. Wisdom.
Okay, you take. Let's roll this. Sorry, 1 second.
Don't push it.
50 points of radiant damage.
Oof.
Oof.
He cast a very high level spiritual weapon.
Bloodied.
Perfect.
And then some.
All right, go ahead and make your attacks. That's all he can do. That's his whole turn. So. Hits. Hits.
Oh
Hot
my
damn!
God.
Yeah, those all hit.
tantrum. Get up.
Oh, damn. Okay, and then we'll need to make a...
No.
Oh, shit.
Natural 1 for his Constitution saving throw. He loses the concentration on the spell on the first hit. So as you strike into him, you see it's like you see the eye patch like over it. You see an eye glowing over what's clearly no eye underneath, and then you decide after getting just. All of these weapons attack at you at once, and they're impossible to parry off. So the first strike, you just stab right towards his head, and he barely dodges, but you manage to hit and cut the eye patch blindfold that he was using right off of his face. And as it slices up, you cut his ear in two, spin around, and then you just stab one down into a thigh, and then picking the other one up, you go for it like directly into the chest, but he manages to barely get out of the way in time as you just deep penetrate just his shoulder. That's going to be his turn. He is going to... so he's going to attack you. He's going to attack you once with this. 25 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
So you take 24 damage.
Okay.
And then he's going to use his bonus action to summon a spiritual weapon. And he's going to do it at 7th level. And 16 to hit with that. Does that hit?
No.
Okay. So you see, for a second, he summons his spiritual weapon, and you see it's a duplicate of his glaive, and it stabs towards you, but you're able to dodge out of the way in time, barely catching the tip of your gauntlet and being able to move it aside. And then you see, looking back at him, the eye completely gone and the blood pouring down his face, still smiling as he says, and then he taps his eye. Now the bandage gone. He's like,
Would you be willing to do such a sacrifice to prove yourself orc?
and that's your turn.
Yes.
What do you do?
Do I get to attack him again?
It's your turn. You can do whatever you'd like to do.
My devotion to the Desert Scar cannot be questioned.
Excellent.
I will pay the price that I have to pay, as long as it serves them and doesn't hurt my friends.
Excellent. Then the price will be paid.
And as he walks up to you, he puts his hand towards your eye, and then he puts his hand over, it's like palm over your right eye, and you feel a warmth, and then you feel your bones hurt, and you wake up and you see your legs growing out. And you feel this pain as you go from the 3.5 foot you were to, I think you were 7 feet tall? Your previous height. You just expand outwards in this immensely painful, basically it's all growing pains in one, where you feel like your skeleton's trying to burst out of its skin, your muscles and skin barely keeping up with your skeleton growing out. You feel, as you lie there, you feel panting. You feel as if you're weeping out of your right eye.
That's my eye still there.
Your eye is gone. And you see next to your bed the cloth that Jahruk was using as an eye patch.
Well, even I know how to take a hint. I'm gonna put on
Perfect.
my new bandana.
Excellent. Okay, so you put on and it neatly covers one eye and fits fairly comfortably. All right. With that, we're going to go ahead and...
I thought it was gonna have some sort of magical effect. It's like, nah, it's just a cloth.
Orcs, man.
You know, it could. You just don't know about it yet.
Fair enough.
Sometimes you need to attune to shit before you know.
Ah.
All right. And then, just to be certain, Viceria, were you doing anything Okay, just go to sleep. Perfect. Oh wait, I forgot to ask. Before you go to sleep, are you? We have it as writ that you put your highest level spell slot of incinerate into the ring, right?
Yeah.
What's your highest level? Left 5. Okay. Oh, that's as high as it can go anyway. So perfect. Go and mark that the incinerate is back in the ring, and so that's ready to go. I keep forgetting. I keep having that on just standby, but I keep forgetting to check that you still have 5th level spell slots at the end of each day. So perfect. All right.
I don't. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm gonna put.
And remember, you can do 5 levels total.
I'm gonna give him a dispel magic at level 4.
Perfect. And then you have a level 1 you can throw in there as well.
A good old. Just firebolt.
Firebolt. Perfect. Firebolt the cantrip?
Yeah. My only first level spell is magic missile, and it's through the cape.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. So, let me just go and add this real quick. Just gonna put it as a note in his innate stuff. All right, so I'm just gonna put ring. You know what? Perfect. Spell storing. So dispel magic level 4 and a firebolt. Perfect. And these use your spell casting modifiers and everything. So when you use them, just click it on your character sheet, and those are ready to go. Cool.
Sounds good.
I actually have it on his spell sheet now, so or his companion character sheet. So now we'll be able to update that a little easier. Now that I think of it, that's gonna be the best way. All right. Perfect. Oh, all right. John. Okay, who next? I guess we'll go with Bloodscale. What were you focusing on as you went to sleep, specifically?
It's time for a meeting.
Okay, perfect. So, as you fall asleep, you feel the familiar kind of weightlessness that comes with as you fall into the realm of your mind. You kind of almost feel yourself fall back, but this time you feel almost elements pushing you up and through. There starts with water rising beneath you and pushing you up. Then electricity kind of takes it, and you feel it kind of sparking and tingling through you as you're pushed up into fire that again engulfs you and throws you. And then lastly, you find yourself standing on a solid piece of ice being raised up until you find yourself surrounded by the spectrum. All are present. You see the black Vutha constrained. There are chains all around, holding them pinned to the ground. They cannot move at all. And you see there is the chains are made of various metals and vines from the green as well, all pinning this dragon Vutha to the ground. Your latest ally, Auraj, I believe, the brass,
Yeah.
is standing and looking, and kind of looks down to you and nods.
Oh, hi. This was a weird entrance that I was not expecting.
And that's at that point. Not you. You're Silver. What's your fucking Orin. Sorry. Orin speaks something like,
We've all come together to bring you to this place. For the effort should be, we've decided, spread amongst all. Shenath before was the one who was in charge of this, and we've decided that when it comes to what Shenath can do and what he should do, he will always do more than he is capable over a long period of time. He has been exhausting himself. And he nods to you.
Redemption is some hard work, but I think he's doing very good. As I turn to him, of course.
Shenath, you can see he just kind of nods.
What they say is true, but it was not beyond my ability to do so. I I take pride in doing more than others, for I have more to make up for.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure we're all appreciative, but we can afford to spread the load a bit now, I believe.
And I will help you spread that load more than any other you have so far.
You see the brass, its head kind of defined by this protective plate that expands from the forehead and spikes coming from its chin. You hadn't seen a full-grown one. It has a frill that runs the length of its neck, kind of tapering down its wings and the whole length of its tail. And this one, unlike the wormling, who was kind of a more mottled brown, and even the young or the adult one. No, it was only a young one that it grew into. It hadn't quite gotten the shine of the metal, and this one, the pupils have faded as they get older till just orbs of molten metal behind the eyes. This one clearly being ancient, as it looks almost just like molten bronze behind its eyes.
Yes, and I hear you're going to do something bold and wonderful, and I love that sort of thing. Do tell me, what is your purpose with us? Since it appears that we are the ones being bound to you rather than the other way around.
I think it's honestly probably the best if you just listen in while I have a conversation with Vutha.
Very well, I will listen.
You see Vutha, mouth bound and everything, just kind of struggles at that point, but you can tell Vutha is exhausted. Even the struggle is pitiful at this point.
I'm just gonna... is it like the platform raised, or is it now level with whatever the fuck the ground is?
No, yeah, you were raised to level with them, like you came up from underneath them.
Yeah, I would just mean, can I get to Vutha without having to... Like,
Easily, yeah. You
down
just,
off it?
yeah, you can just walk right over.
Okay. So right up to Vutha's nose. Arm's length.
Okay.
Just a quick flick on the nose.
You dare.
I'm considering us even.
Interesting.
You hear the brass say.
Look, we're not gonna get into that weird monstrosity that of a form that you took at the moment. I'm sure that pissed everybody else in here off. I mean, just look at you. There, as you can see, it didn't work, and I'm gonna just. I think I've done this before, where instead of like digging around in a bag, Bloodskill just held his hand out, and I think just apparated into it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just gonna apparate the gold coin. You know,
There's some objection from Vutha at the appearance of the coin.
so Arx helped out and made sure that the kill you stole from Skelly Man didn't really take. By the way, that skeleton MVP. Low as hell, knocked me in the back of the head, and I fell over.
Fallen champions still have their purpose.
Speaking of fallen, did you know that Arx is alive, unlike you?
Yeah.
Kind of unlike everybody else.
I chose to die, for the record. The brass interjects.
Arash?
Yes.
Sorry, this is just a little serious.
No, of course. Sorry, it's been so long since I've had anyone to speak to.
We will talk, trust me, don't worry, buddy.
Yes, yes, of course.
And while saying that, Bloodscale's gonna rub his head, just idly feeling if horns and eyeballs are there in this space too.
Nope.
Cool. See if that sticks outside of limbo or not. So as in Bloodscale, being somewhat cocky, is going to just turn around, like holding up the coin, just showing everybody. Nice 360 spin.
You get nods, except for you see Outrak, the green, just eyes wide, staring directly at it, kind of almost moving forward without meaning to like get closer to see it all in it exactly.
Bloodscale's not gonna like try to hide it, but he's also not gonna slow down. He will clock that happening though.
Okay.
And then he spins back to Vutha. Now here's the thing. RX is alive. It's the only reason RX is not in here. However, this coin is a way for me to contact them. In the meantime, which might upset a few people, dragons, I try to keep us all equal in here, but it might upset them because this coin technically makes us not equal. For I'm representative of RX vote in our decisions.
Can you not use it to bring him here?
I could, however, we're in limbo, and I don't know if it would actually work when we're on different planes.
What plate is he on?
Seems this worked on the material plane.
Uh,
However, at the same time, if you were sleeping and suddenly summoned somewhere, it probably wouldn't be the best of ideas, would it?
I think
If you were taking a shit and you were summoned, that'd be really weird, wouldn't it?
our focus is correct. The summoning should be with warning, not in the middle of whatever we call night where we are.
Or an interjects.
And RX did say only to use this when times seemed appropriate, let's just say.
But could it not be used in order to maybe resurrect us as it did you? The green says.
The coin was not used. RX
Coins? Coins were used, though.
Yeah.
Would Oryx not be capable of resurrecting all of us so that we may actually be equal?
Do you know how much coin it took to just get me?
How much?
I was dead, however, I'm told it was a lot. Pretty much all we had.
So?
I have a feeling the rest of you would be even more coin. Now,
But the
don't get me wrong,
gold...
I'm not saying that this is not an option in the future.
Okay, excellent.
If you remember our deal, and I'll look back
Yes.
to our deal comes with doing what we can to either bring you back or give some sort of representation.
Speaking of being brought back,
The blue
Ulhar interjects, how is the champion doing?
Oh, he's good. After this meeting, you're probably gonna get to talk to him some more. Don't worry.
Very well. Excellent. It would be a shame to see one Akari cares for so much fall away from her.
You actually might enjoy a certain thing about him. But after this meeting, those of you that were speaking with comrades of mine may get to do so again. But we needed this meeting first. Now, back to the task at hand here, Vutha. Before Ulu stabbed you so many times, you fell over. And instead of letting your soul dissipate, I at least brought it in here. One of the last things you said to me, and I'm sure this was a jab at me trying to inform you of our deal before you decided to be just a complete asshole. You told me to make you a deal. And you know what? I'm gonna make you a deal.
just want like Price is Right music to start up?
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Obviously, let's make.
Let's make a deal.
Yeah,
Let's
oh, yeah.
make a deal.
Then I can buy you 14 briefcases.
Choose the one with the gold coin. No.
The coin, by the way, is going to disapparate. Important to this task.
Sure.
The deal is the same one I gave you before. Same one everybody else in here has got.
You see the brass lean closer.
So again, for the knowledge of Araj here, as Limbo's fucking weird, and even though it's been only about 24 hours since you knocked my ass over, the deal is simple. You can join this council. Our goal is to get everybody in here, and everybody includes Gilthic, who is still emblazoned upon my arm and currently also emblazoned upon my allies.
You see the struggling stop as you mentioned Gilthic, and then the eye, relatively looking for a way out, suddenly focuses. Giant, and the head kind of turns so they can get a better look at you as you continue. Very obviously, the name Gilthic grabbed her attention.
I'm gonna hold the bracer up, which I did before, the first time. See, I wasn't fucking kidding. Gilthic's right here. Albeit deader than the rest of you. Deader than I was. However, once everyone is here, or at least representative of being here, although I'm sure that would be enough of a big enough event that Oryx could probably join us completely and freely at his own will, is to either attempt to bring Gilthic back, or at least get the Octarine some representation again.
A new Octarine you would propose either to resurrect Gilthic or have another Octarine born.
I don't know if you had a problem with Gilthic. I don't know these things.
I loved Gilthic.
Then wouldn't you want at least Gilthic's legacy to continue? If we couldn't get Gilthic back entirely, wouldn't you at least want that?
Do you have anything of his that I would be able to have? Can I get that from you?
Now we're in the bartering phase, but I wasn't done with the deal. You're gonna have to hear me out before anything.
Very well.
Now, after we work on this, if it is a new Octarine, the plan is effectively to make them the best of us. That doesn't mean they'll be the strongest or the wisest or the smartest. That means, honestly, they'll probably be the most balanced because they will learn from all of us.
Then they will be a fitting heir to Gilthic.
Now, after that, the plan is find a big ass mountain somewhere on the prime material plane. Try to get all of you resurrected and create a dragon domain. You would all get chunks of said mountain, honestly to do with as you please, with minor rules such as all dragonborn also get to live on the mountain. They get to be protected. They're not slaves, they're not vassals. However, they don't get to order you around. They get to pick which parts of the mountain they want to live on under effectively your kind of governance. I mean, I'm not gonna say that Sharir over here can't just beat the shit out of whatever he wants on his side of the mountain. there'll probably be some Dragonborn that are probably much like me. They get really pissed off and like to hit things too. I could see a bunch of them wanting to hang out. But there won't be infighting between us. There won't be struggles over our chunks of the mountain. Honestly, we'll continue having meetings like this just in, you know, material space.
And what is the cost?
Well, see, so far the cost actually has been pretty easy for pretty much everyone here. I mean, you can ask a Chalk over there who, when they first showed up, walled everybody off, mostly because they kind of didn't want to deal with everybody else that was in here before talking to me to make sure it was safe. There is a general rule in here of no fighting. That rule can be rescinded if somebody, anybody on this panel decides to fuck around and find out.
You hear the white Asir just.
And it would be such a hunt. Do not tempt us.
See, that rule would only be rescinded for the person who did fuck around to find out. There would still be no infighting between the rest of us. But that one would surely probably get their shit stomped in. Now,
Very well. If that is your only price.
no, it's not. You did knock me over. As far as physicality goes, we're even. There's a few things that I'm going to have to ask of you. Now, everybody here has given something beneficial to me to further the cause. I have not demanded any specific thing. I have not even demanded really anything. I basically asked for help. You've been a bit of a wild card. Your loyalty is far more in question than everyone else. Charir over there literally destroyed my arm. It's back now. It's multicolored. It's kind of cool. I respect that. And he can tell you, I didn't make any demands. He tried to make demands of me, but that's not the rules of the deal. The deal is just the deal. But again, your loyalty is possibly skewed. So there are a couple requests.
Very well.
The black mask apparates in Bloodscale's hand. Found this after you fell over.
Yes.
Is this thing perfectly safe for me to use? See, I don't like that laugh. We're not in laughing territory right now.
We're not good enough friends yet.
We're mild acquaintances from work at best.
Yeah, you're not on my Christmas card list, man.
Oh, there is nothing that is going to harm you of that mask.
Harm me, take control of me, affect me negatively.
There are no negatives to the mask. It is just what was worn by my last champion.
If I wear this, any responsibilities or duties that I have to do, or is it literally just a thing I can wear to assist with, honestly, where this deal is hopefully ending up?
It was created as a boon to those who served my purposes. With the deal, our purposes would be aligned, and therefore... Hell, you can have it without any... I'm not one who could stop you at this point. But there was not the aspect of control given with the mask. You assume much.
I do. Mostly because you. And see, now we're going back to that other thing. You did turn into an undead abomination. And we easily could have just destroyed you and figured out a way to make another black. So.
But other than the gold, I was the last alive.
Yeah, just because you're the last alive doesn't mean turning into abominations is the way to go.
It is much easier to change this world if you are in it than standing waiting without.
And she kind of tries to look around, but it's stuck to the floor.
Again, we're not playing this game at the moment of everybody piss off and antagonize everybody else. I am, however, and Bloodscale just turns around. It's like, assuming things apparate, he's just gonna float the mask out like 20 feet behind him so the other dragons can look at it.
Sure.
Just because I do enjoy second opinions.
You see they all kind of look and nod, and every single one nods and confirms that it is safe.
Bloodscale had already turned around and is just letting it float there.
Perfect.
All right. Well, that's a good start. Now again, everybody on this council has an even weight to their votes. You would still have an even weight to your vote. I'm not a complete asshole. I'm not going to punish you for nonsense that we can easily move past at this point in time. And as the deal comes with, there's no fighting in here. That means you won't have to worry about even the white over there who's pissed off at you coming after you.
And
However, that also means you don't get to backstab anybody else. Or me, because I'm on the council too.
and my other option is oblivion.
I don't know exactly how to release anybody from this. I honestly don't think it's a thing that's even possible. This could just be your, honestly, last bastion of hope for any sort of survival. I don't know. I'm not the brightest, and I got hit in the head really hard when I fell over, so I've been feeling really dumb lately.
I have taken worse deals. I agree to your terms.
Alright, well, before we let you up, I just have some personal questions.
You're doing very well, by the way.
The bronze interjects from behind you.
I don't have the bronze, you mean the brass.
Brass, sorry.
Thank you. Do you agree to the deal? Because you hadn't heard it.
Yes, and I will offer my. When you, I've been speaking with the others in here, and when you are attuned to me, your breath weapon shall instead act as a sleep. So you roll the damage. You'll roll the damage of a breath weapon, probably times 2 for your current level, and then anything under those amount of hit points will go to sleep.
That is nifty as shit. Right now, I'm sure you guys are aware, figuring you can probably see. I'm also kind of a weird monstrosity, but hey, at least I'm not undead. And the breath weapon is honestly just everybody at the same time. It is the weirdest shit.
About that, are you feeling any ill effects from having every element at the same time?
Or an ass.
Not yet. It's been like 3 hours and I have passed out. I'll tell you in the morning.
Very well. Keep an eye close. I do not know what it would mean for you.
Thank you. And I will move back to Vutha, who is still tied down at the moment. So back to those questions. What were you doing in the abyss?
Hiding.
How long were you hanging out with Menelephus?
Not Menelephis, but there were many others I had deals with. He just became he is the one who stole my phylactery.
Okay, well, he's dead.
Excellent.
Completely dead. We killed him in the abyss. He should stay dead. I believe that's how it works.
He deserved nothing more.
That's a thing we all agree on. Hey, Shanoth, Mesnos is safe now.
Yes,
Figured like to know.
that is of great importance. I believe he has found his redemption. I would like to speak with him soon.
I will keep that in mind. Let's see. Other things. Kinda got why you turned into that thing already, because you're just trying to stay alive in order to affect whatever on the other side. That's a thing. I get it, but I don't at the same time. Are you right in the head right now?
What do you mean?
You're not the first one to have come in here that's been corrupted
No,
in some way, shape, or form.
I am not corrupted. I merely took precautions that others did not.
Yeah, but again, those precautions turned you into the thing literally everybody here hates, so I mean...
They all have hated me for a long time.
And why?
Because in the war, I stood with Gilthic. And then when he died, I gave it up. So those loyal to the Morafei see me as a betrayer to the Morafei. Those who stood against see me a betrayer to them. That is why my color became darkness. I have no place in either chromatic or spectrum.
What color were you?
One lost to time that I wish to keep dead.
What did it, as everybody else at least represents something as well, with Giltic and the Octarine being magic, what did yours represent?
And you see she breathes for a second, and the eye looking away, and then looking back.
I think it cut out.
Oh,
Oh, sorry. And then,
I looked back.
so as she looks at you and then looks away, she says,
Hope.
Hope?
Yes.
Well, I can at least tell you that hasn't disappeared. I mean, there might not be a color for it, but still plenty of hope.
I no longer represent that. Now it is the void that hope can leave behind. The void that light leaves behind.
Well, you know what? If we get another Octarine back, we'll see what happens to that. That being said, honestly understandable. Hopeless situations are sometimes inevitable. Do you know anything about the greater threat that is going on right now?
Yes.
Elaborate.
The Nightmare Lord seeks to bind the realms together. Menelephis was to put a foothold in the abyss. I don't know if he succeeded, for I was bound to protect him.
Well, that does give us some intel about the abyss, so that is nice. There might be one person down there we can get to help out. Probably not Zephyr's new old not dad. But, nah. Alright. Are there any questions you'd like to ask of me at this time?
How did you become this focus, this prism?
Good question. I made a deal with Shenoth to save your descendants, I think is probably the best word, in exchange for some power. Honestly, the deal turned sour, but I still completed my end, and then guess what? We just formed a normal deal, the deal we're in now, that doesn't require really anybody having to
So
take the shit end of the stick.
you're not entirely sure what caused you physically to be able to take on these forms. Interesting. I know there are many who would have had the opportunity with the physiology that you have, and the physiology many have, of course. It's just interesting to me, you know.
And then you see, like, Orn looks confused as the brass is going through this.
Now, other than that, with this overall plan to give us all bodies and everything back, is there anyone else I can talk to besides the others here? I do enjoy a good conversation.
There's a few.
Oh, really?
As like Ulhar and Shenoth and Achak can tell you, I can occasionally hand one of you off to friends.
That would be most agreeable. I do look forward to the conversations that we are able to have with other people. I would love to speak with more, for everyone here is quite serious and not interested in the small talks that can be the delight of life.
Oh,
you see-
I think Ulhar might actually be more up for that.
I am not.
It's like definitively.
Oh, sorry, right. You're only up for that with Uza because Kadi, I understand.
Orn kind of leans into you at this point, and he's like super close. His head gets like really close.
He has been like this since he got here. He will. That's the things about brass, obsessed with talking. You say that like it's a bad thing. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hey, look. At some point, you guys are going to realize that at the moment, you're all you got. And maybe the bickering can tone down a bit. Especially because if I die out there, we're all kind of fucked. So maybe I understand maybe one person who just got here and came from fucking Limbo, the weirdest fucking place I've ever been. Maybe just needs to talk some shit out and then can calm down just a little bit.
Speaking of limbo, do you know on the material plane, brass is not even that bright of a metal anymore? How ridiculous is that?
It's like, you know, just kind of look over him, look at you, then look back at him, then back at you. And then Orn speaks to him.
We shall do our best to accommodate his vocal needs.
But again, those of you that have been talking to friends, I'll be more than happy to, if you wish, let you talk to friends again. Needed to have this meeting first and probably figure out what's going on with my head out there.
Oh, about that, we can see now everything without having to watch it through your mind. It's quite nice.
Also probably weird.
Very weird. It's been a long time since I've had any physical form.
We'll see if that lasts outside of Limbo. I cannot assure really anything about Limbo.
No, I shall enjoy it while it lasts.
By the way, while we're here, Vutha has accepted the deal. Let Vutha go.
You see all of the chains of metal dissipate, leaving only the vines, leaving for just it's a good like 3 seconds afterwards, and you see Chuck kind of lean down, look Booth in the eyes, look back to you, shrug, and then release the vines as Vutha stands to their full height, pop cracking her neck.
So, I am going to. I don't think this has been vocalized, but it's been implied. If anyone decides to start conniving or start backstabbing any of the others, the no fighting rule will automatically be rescinded against them. Not to the death, but until beaten pretty shitless, and
To
then
the
it'll be
pain.
reinstated. So
You get
let's
nods.
not. And again, if it's rescinded, that's not. It's not a free for all at that point. It's all versus the one. I've fought most of you. I've gotten my ass kicked by most of you.
From Charir.
Xanath literally killed a orc that I was inhabiting and then attempted to kill me. That would have been a double.
You were less powerful then, but it was quite the fun at the time.
Honestly, it was. I'm not gonna lie. I've enjoyed all the fights. I've also kind of enjoyed getting my arm blown off. I've also enjoyed proving that I'm the dumb one by locking myself in at the bottom of fucking water with Votha here.
You see Vutha try not to smile and eventually smile.
Votha will actually get a wink from Bloodscales. It's one of those like, yeah, no, I'm admitting you got me. I'm not dumb, but I got you back. It's fine.
Just a head tilt, like in return. Like a, oh, shit. Okay.
Again, physicality, I see us as just... Everything's even now. It's fine. But let's try not to fuck each other over, especially with the end goal honestly helping all of us. Are there any concerns?
I'm
Any
concerned.
objections? I would be more than happy to field questions with my big dumb brain.
I'm concerned daylight is coming until next time.
And Orin shoots you out and you feel consciousness coming back into your body.
There.
And then with that, we'll go ahead and swap over to Uza. It's a Uza, Mesnos, and Zephyr. You're all in this room. The night everyone else has gone to bed. You have the amulet. You have a scroll. What are we doing?
I'm gonna take a closer look at the scroll really quick.
Perfect. Yeah, Vincent.
Kind of glean what I can out of it.
So it is
Sure.
It is a scroll of summon demon. It has very specific instructions on what you need to do to summon said demon, and you'll have to know the true name of the demon in order not to just get... Because it's basically two things you can do with it. You can summon a type of demon and bind its will to yours, or you can summon a specific demon and be able to, if you know its name, of course, control it. Rather than if you only went for a type of demon, there'd be a time limitation on how long they were there and how much control you had.
Okay. So his true name isn't in Mesnos' book, correct?
His true name is the one that he gave you. Or no, wait, shit, hold on. Let me think. No, it wouldn't have been. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. Hold on, let me pull up something here. Because it is in Mesnos' book, because Mesnos is his keeper.
He would know my dad's full name, true
Yeah.
name.
Yeah, and then I know you've written a lot for this story. If you want to write or figure out what your dad's true name is, we can add that later. So that way, it'll conform with the naming structure and everything that you've gone so far for the Nefzet family. But yeah, for game purposes, Mesnos will know that he has the full name in there. You actually see it's in his book where he took some of your names and wrote you down as the protected. You see it's scratched out, but just a single line, so it's still readable.
Wait, that's under my name?
No, it's above your name. It's basically, you can see it was the first name he wrote in his book to be able to protect people whose names he wrote down. But it's been scratched out since he wasn't able to actually make it happen because he was on another plane of existence. Perfect. Wait, isn't that the name of your paladin?
But it's also the name. It also means secret.
Perfect.
So-
That works. I was just
I'm like, play on words. Let's do it.
let's do it.
Sorry, that was my quick grab.
That's perfectly fine, and you can always update it later. Like I have no problem with that. But yeah, so Mesnos is kind of going through the book, and he shows you your father. He's like,
This is the first time it was written down, I think, ever. I was supposed to enable me to help protect him, but I wasn't anywhere where the magic would have taken place. Your father's true name was Razi Nefzet.
So, with the necklace and this and the skull, which I pull out and I kind of set on the table. If there's a little like end table.
hold on, let me see if she'll actually go to bed now. 1 second before we get any further. I feel like this is gonna be some serious shit, so let's get serious. Yeah, I hear you, Pumpkin. Everybody hears you. There we go.
It's fussy baby. It's fine.
Love you, baby.
See, baby. Don't be such a baby about this, Amelia.
She's so adorable. I love her. She's like, every time I hear noises coming from that child, I just get punk kicked in the uterus.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Wait, what about a uterus?
I said every time I hear little baby Amelia, you know, being so friggin' adorable, I get punk kicked in the uterus.
The clock she ticks.
Just imagine the clock that went wah, 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 instead of ticking or talking. God damn it, hold on.
That Slab episode. I gotta have a baby! Think of a baby. What baby? My mother's baby. Me!
Resurrect him. My character can't be an edgelord because she won't have daddy issues anymore. Like,
Are you kidding me? How could that not come with even more daddy issues? They've changed. If anything, she's gonna have more daddy issues because she can start having new daddy memories where daddy's not fucking. Well, daddy didn't deliver today.
true, but also, you know, it's gonna be interesting to explain. Hey, look, so your best friend? Yeah, we're doing it.
Oh, on the reg.
You're supposed to protect my daughter.
I am.
I'm still
He's wearing a condom.
We use protection.
Yeah.
I was wearing mage armor. What an alternative use of protection from good and evil.
Now it feels weird.
Babies
that I'm
and
gonna poke my head
STDs.
in there
Also-
and cast that spell.
Also, an
bro.
alternative use of control water.
Mm.
Oh lord.
Come
I-
that day.
wait, okay, so
Gone
wait,
off
so he's your dad's best friend?
Mesnos is, yeah.
And coworker.
Oh God.
Technically
Can you-
employee.
Can you imagine if they didn't get along?
Guess. I mean, they might not have. We'll find out.
Yeah, it's gonna be awkward for
Miss
everybody
Nose has
involved.
been lying the entire time. Oh, you're a fucking dick. I fired you.
The only reason my name's scratched out of that book is because I told you go fuck yourself.
I can't believe you've done this. He's like, yes, that's right. Mission complete. What? Yeah. Bye. Just disappears.
Under Mike.
Huh?
Would you tell Dana thank you for the apple butter? It is friggin' delicious, and I have
Thank you for the
shamefully
apple butter. It was delicious. And then she
And
was
I
gonna say something else,
shamefully-
like she shamefully
drank it from
Drank
the
it.
jar.
from the jar. Oh,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You upset Amelia with that.
Amelia wanted some fucking apple butter, god damn it.
it's more of an apple. Apple dip. Not sauce. It wasn't chunky enough.
Alright, I gotta try something else. I'm sorry, guys. I'll be back.
No worries.
Fine, it's baby.
You're hanging out with me.
Forgot we were streaming.
Being inappropriate, yeah.
Did we already start?
Did we start? Have we started?
We
Did we
start.
start yet? Oh man.
No.
Just a practice run. A little warm up.
Rehearsal. We're scripted.
Oh my god. Just
Secret
keep
job.
thinking of just. Oh yeah, I hope her dad was a good boss, or this is gonna get real weird.
Weird anyway.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Trying to get crooky. Somebody's gonna kick somebody's ass, maybe, or there's just gonna be lots of hugging and thank gods. And what? What?
God, who invited
No.
Zephyr's dad on the trip?
Oh man. I'm sure this is gonna be fun.
Dude, he was basically a moonshiner who owned a castle.
He's like, let me tell you how to run quiet. You need to get somewhere fast and have no one know. That's my expertise.
BT Dubs, I gave away the house.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I got important paperwork and shit. Like,
Got a good deal.
Zephyr, you got some splaining to do.
Oh, I guess I'm living with you right now.
it was that or stay named Zephyr Nieftet Ustranik.
Is that? I don't know. Is that something your dad would be like? All right, or would he be like, who?
You
No
gave
daughter
yourself
of mine.
a second dad?
You went and got another dad? I didn't even know you could do
Oh.
that.
You weren't around.
Well, she called me daddy.
Oh, there it is.
I remember why we fired you in the first place.
Lots of edge lord daddy issues. You'll be fine.
I'm glad you found someone with so much lip.
She seems happy about it.
I wasn't talking to you. Fuck's sake.
Ugh.
I'm realizing, yeah, what does your dad sound like? Have we met him yet?
No, we haven't met him. He's been
Ghost or
dead.
something? Yeah, alright, cool.
We only ever had the ghostly voice. So,
Boy, that's loud.
Boy, howdy.
There it goes.
Eh.
Not anymore. Keep it. It's really about proximity to your mic. Everything is about proximity to your mic.
Ah,
But I'm all the way over across town.
Not really across town.
I'm all the way over across McCarran.
Yeah, that one.
the party. Do I need to bring anything?
Dana, does Jess need to bring anything? Oh, she's not here. She walked away.
Just text me and let me
Follow her.
know.
Yeah, we'll do.
yes. Neat.
Dana, does Jess and Brandon need to bring anything? She said, mm-mm.
Okay, just our beautiful selves.
What was that, Dana?
I said
Does
just our
Brandon...
beautiful selves.
I was asking Dana. Too many people talking to me. Dana is asking if Brandon wants to paint too, or just.
Do you want to paint Katie with me?
Okay, I'm
I'll
back.
paint with you, but I won't paint separately.
What are we
He's
painting?
the one that I'm painting.
Okay.
What's happening? I'm back. Sorry.
They're having a painting party.
Yeah.
Sweet. If you need models, let me know. All
Not
right.
that kind of painting party.
I know.
Clothes on! They stay
Halloween
on!
decoration.
Ah, very nice.
And it's a costume party. Don't forget your costumes.
Don't forget your costume, Spooky.
Don't forget to bring a towel.
I am doing nothing for Halloween. I probably won't have dressed up either, so.
All right. So, all right. Sorry about all that. We're trying
Baby,
No.
it's fine.
see if that works. She's got them fussies.
Unpredictable. She's a wild card.
Simply unpredictable. Wild card jumps out of the van. Okay. Now,
Hopefully she doesn't do that. I did that once.
it was a bad idea. All right. Now, what would you like to do from here?
The name. I have the summoning ritual. I have his skull, and I have the resurrection amulet.
No, you have the Neefset amulet.
Yeah,
can-
it's that amulet of resurrection. That's what you told me to write it down as.
It should just no. It's a soul anchor. It's not a you don't. It's not a resurrection spell or anything like that. It's something. It's part of the resurrection ritual. Like, but you need somebody to. You have all you need. It's just that the amulet itself is meant to be like an anchor for a soul. Yeah, you like bind it to. Give me an intelligence check real quick. Perfect, 17. Yeah, so you get the idea that maybe the reason that there were the bone warriors and everything like that, as well as the head, is there still needs to be something to graft the soul onto. You're muted, but I heard that.
I have the head.
Yep.
So I'm going to use that as the focus
Okay.
and get this ritual underway.
Okay.
Is that gonna be enough?
Uza, what are you doing? Are you helping with the ritual, or are you just observing?
I was going to. How? What's the casting time on that? Can you tell?
It's an hour-long ritual.
Okay, so I will step aside and let her do her thing. But at about a minute or two before I feel like the ritual is going to be complete, I'm going to cast protection from good and evil on
Okay.
her, and then just wait in the shadows. Otherwise, if
Okay.
there are shadows. I don't know. How big is this room?
It's 10 foot by 15 feet.
I will wait by the door. The shadow of the door.
Okay. Perfect. So, this ritual does require some blood to be used. Mesnos offers up his as well as yours.
How much blood does it require?
So, you have to draw the summoning circle in blood in order to be able to summon use this particular type of summon.
I'm doing that with family blood, so I'm using mine
Okay.
to kind of create a closer link if possible.
Now, are you just like kind of pricking and then drawing with the blood, or are you putting it into a goblet and being real careful and specific with like an instrument of some sort?
Goblet instrument.
Okay. So Uza, you watch as Zephyr. Where are you cutting yourself? Just curious.
I'm gonna say on the wrist.
Wrist? Okay.
Like
Uh,
nick a spot right at the edge of the wrist that's near the artery, but not quite on it.
Perfect. So you see she just quick nick on the wrist and then kind of squeezes the hand to pump the blood until she fills a goblet full of it, and then gets out. I'd say
Has no
probably.
set of quills and shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
he's definitely got plenty
I
of
look
things.
over to Uza. I'm like, Uza, can I use a paintbrush, please?
Of course. And he pulls out one of his finer
No, he said
paintbrush. Oh,
What was
Uza,
that?
sorry.
I know,
Too many
it's all the
Z's.
Z's. It's weird. I'll hand her one of the paintbrushes. And do you have? Is that enough? Is that enough blood?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I'm gonna do a charge of healing hands to seal the wound.
Perfect. Yeah. So before I could even get you, yeah, you just wound seals up, and then so you take the paintbrush and you start going through the intricate designs as on the summoning scroll, and it adheres. Now these they're mostly not necessarily words, but they're these symbols that kind of mean different things depending on the context. It's really hard to decipher because this is such an old spell that the evolution of language and time and everything has kind of almost made it so that this spell only means exactly this once everything goes together. But you get around the entire summoning circle, and then you place the head in the middle, and then you paint the lines from each of the anchor points on the outside of the all 5 anchor points from the outside of the circle. You draw them in, and where if you were summoning without an anchor point like the skull, you would just create a circle in which to large enough for the demon to kind of come up into. But with the anchor point, you pull them up, and then you draw them and pull them up into the back of the skull, coming and intersecting all on the forehead, coming from each side. Now, you then, having it kind of all set, you sit at the very top of the ring, and then you place one hand down as you kind of close your eyes and focus on the name of the demon. And then, I forget, do you speak Abyssal? You speak Abyssal.
Sonic and Abyssal.
Perfect, yeah, okay. And then, so in Abyssal, you start...
Infernal and Abyssal, sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, Abyssal's the one you need. So you start to kind of... You start this chant that's as part of the scroll. And you place the scroll before you and at the edge of the ring. And the scroll is meant to be placed as the blood of the circle kind of starts to absorb through, and you see it bleeding through the paper and eventually completing the circle, your hand just above it. And you see as you start the chant of to seek, to find, to control, to capture, no matter the cause, the call, you are summoned. Razi Nifzet. And you say this over and over and over. As you hold your hand there, the blood from the ring starts to inch towards your hand on top of the summoning scroll. It starts to pool underneath your palm and then go through each finger. And then the last time you feel a sudden protection coming from Uza, one you felt before. And then as you complete this ritual, you see beneath your hands all the blood lights on fire. The fire consumes the scroll beneath your hand. The fire proceeds to go up and then travel across the ring, flame consuming every single symbol that you took the enormous amounts of time to write. The fire, and as it does, it's like watching a fuse as it goes all the way around the circle. And then as it burns away, all 5 lines burn towards the skull. And as they climb up and over, you see the eyes burn bright with fire. And the skull starts to raise from the ground. And that's where we're going to end.
Neat.
Sorry you didn't have anything to do today, TJ, but...
Oh yeah, what spell slot you going on? Oh, that one? Okay, alright, next.
Sorry, there was a lot of things to get to with everybody's plans for tonight, and I wanted to make sure that they all got.
Sarah's just sitting there in his bed before going to sleep.
Like,
Have we started?
fireball yet?
Oh,
Can I nuke somebody yet? No.
so
I see.
one thing that Zarek, you now have access to the Boat of Potential, and from the Bardic College of Creation. I'm going to go ahead and create the handout for you now. This is something that you have got from your training so far. And then you have, let me pull it up here, the amounts of Bardic Inspiration the amount of times per day you'll be able to use this.
What does it do?
So, I'm getting there. Alright, so it'll be a D12, and I'll put this in here. And I'm trying to figure out how many you get, because I think it's based off of your proficiency modifier. One second. Anyway, so it'll be a D12. So with this, whenever you give a Bardic Inspiration dice, which you'll be able to do as a bonus action, you can utter a note from the Song of Creation to create a tiny mote of potential, which orbits within 5 feet of a creature. The mote is an intangible and invulnerable, and lasts as long as a Bardic Inspiration die is until it is lost. The mote can look like a musical note, a star, a flower, anything symbol of art or life that you choose. When the creature uses the Bardic Inspiration die, the mote provides an additional effect based on whether the die benefits an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, as detailed below. For an ability check, when the creature rolls Bardic Inspiration die to an ability check, the creature can roll Bardic Inspiration to again and choose to roll which to use. The mote pops, it emits a bright, colorful, harmless spark for a moment. For an attack roll, immediately after a creature rolls the Bardic Inspiration die, add it to an attack roll against a target, and the mote thunderously shatters. The target and each creature of your choice within 5 feet must succeed a Constitution saving throw against your spell DC, or take thunder damage equal to the number rolled on the Bardic Inspiration dice. Saving throw. Immediately after a creature rolls that Bardic Inspiration die and adds it to a saving throw, the mote vanishes with a sound of soft music, causing the creature to gain temporary hit points equal to the number on the Bardic Inspiration die, plus your Charisma modifier, a minimum of 1. And yeah, like I said, your Bardic Inspiration die for this will be considered a D12. So you have learned that, as everybody else has. Yeah, so that'll be kind of fun for you to mess around with. But with your quest and sitting down and taking the time with a shaper of, reality in this place, you actually have something that'll work on all planes of existence, and that is something you get. So I'm going to put this in your journal here, and then the thing I was doing. Oh, so that's the only one so far. But the rest of you, don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you. As I know there are a few of you who do not have the extra class abilities from other things like the others got before you joined the game. But I haven't forgotten about it. Don't worry. But this is the first one to be handed out because it was where everything led. So good shit there. Other than that, yeah, I think we'll go ahead and end for the night. If you guys come up with ideas of where you want to go next or what you want to do next, go ahead and let me know, because we're kind of very open-ended at this point, and that'll help me a lot. So other than that, thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful day.